Hello, my name is Christopher Garcia Machoro. I'm a CM student at Fresno State. I'm graduating this semester, spring 2025, and I completed my internship with W.A. Butler, and I got picked up. I got a job offer with W.A. Butler as a full-time project engineer. So this is me right here. A little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm a full-time PE with W.A. Butler. My internship um, project was a target ground up in Fresno. And now as a full-time PE, my project is a target ground up in Bakersfield. So it's pretty cool because the 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 mistakes that I learned from Fresno, I could carry them off to Bakersfield and have a smooth construction process. Um, this is a picture of the Target furnace store. The scope of work that I chose to talk about is cast in place tilt-top wall system. And here's a picture of the slab that we poured in Bakersfield, and the little robot on top. It's what's making the forms of the wall that is gonna be facing out. So that's pretty unique. Uh, common means and methods for this tilt-top system is first we throw what's called a rat slab on the floor, make a nice and even smooth surface so we could cast the plates on the ground on top of the rat slab and eventually tilt them up one by one, standing up. This process is it takes about 5 days, 6 days. So usually what we did in Fresno and Bakersfield, we pour, I don't know, like 46 wall panels, and we try to pour them in 3 days back to back. We would do one section the first day, second section in the second day, and the last section in the third day. Then we let it what's it called? We let it cure and eventually call the crane, and the crane will help us tilt out the walls. So when the crane mobilized like a week before, we have a pre-phase meeting for the crane and my WA boiler team to coordinate on what's the system that we're gonna use, how we're gonna where we're gonna start, and how we're gonna eventually be tilting walls and bracing them. So we have a pre-phase meeting for that, and then right after that, we have a mandatory safety meeting. We usually have this meeting right at the beginning of the lifts. So the first day of lifting, we have a mandatory safety meeting, and every other day we have a short meeting covering safety. Common materials used for this, of course, we use the mixed concrete. It's already in place, it's already poured. These walls have a reinforced steel rebar inside the walls. We have embeds on the walls, so that's where we hooked up the crane to lift them up. We have some kind of pull pull system, so we could let the hook release the embed, so they could stand up by itself. And of course, we have the panel form work and the bond breakers. The bond breaker is usually between the rat slab and the wall, the tilt wall. Common equipment used for pouring the concrete walls, we use a pump, concrete pump. So we use that. We use of course we use cement trucks, the drums, cement trucks. They use vibrators and consolidation. We use a mobile crane. That's one of the main things. We use the rigging gear and tilt braces, and we use main lifts and forklifts for the panel bracing and to clean up whenever the walls are going up. the sequence of work example, uh, I have 10 bullet points here. The first one is pour and finish the rat slab. Second is lay out the panel dimensions on the slab, which that's what the little robot is doing right there. The third one, we have formwork, rebars, and embeds. And four, we pour the concrete panels. So once the embeds and the rebar and everything is inside the formwork, we go ahead and call the concrete company and we pour the concrete with a pump for the panels. We give it time to cure to be able to stand up the walls. Right after that, right after it meets the curing time or the PCI, we strip forms and clean the edges. We usually schedule the crane ahead of time because they're really expensive and they're not as easy to book. So the crane will be scheduled ahead of time with their crew. Like I said, we have the pre-phase and then we have the safety meeting on how we're gonna be lifting the panels, and only the people that are that has something to do with at the time with lifting the walls is only available there, and anyone else like plumbers, electricians, if they don't have to be there, they won't be there. Then after that, we have tilt top walls and brace them. We brace them. I see that they brace maybe braces. They use like 2 braces or 3 braces per panel, depends. Right after that, they spend a good 1-2 days checking and plumbing and aligning all the walls. So for estimating the cost for the future projects, these I have, well, the main thing is calculate the current rental cost per day, including the setup and the operator. This is expensive tray, so you have to consider that. The second one, the cost in concrete, rebar, and embeds. We usually estimate that labor that is gonna take us, because it's not just the crane. We have to have the concrete people there because they're the ones bracing the walls. We have to have the GC, which is my company, W. Butler, there for supervision. Of course, this insurance and everyone on working on the project at the time has to have insurance, and it's really important for them to have insurance. Um, this system, when we do the total work, it gets planned ahead of time and months in advance. It doesn't happen from one week to another. This has a lot of planning, a lot of loose ends that has to get connected before we continue. For key for safety procedures, like I said, we have a mandatory safety meeting right after lifting the walls, and then the pre-phase for wall tilt, that we cover some of that too also in there. We have only trained and certified riggers. We have a clear zone so no one could get hurt, something falling off on top of their head or something. This is a must. We all have to have PPE at all times. This is including hard hats, boots, safety glasses, a vest with the stripes. It has to have the stripes. Key quality control and assurances. These panels get inspected before we tilt them. They get inspected. Like I said, they had to meet strength for the PCI to be able to get it and lift up. And so yeah, we inspect the rebar, of course, the placement of the embeds, make sure they're flat. We check all that. We have cylinders for the concrete testing, so we have that too. The formwork, before we pour the concrete, we double check, triple check, make sure everything is aligning properly. You can't break concrete and do it again. It's not that easy. Careful planning, like I said, we plan ahead of time, and even though we plan ahead of time, there's always issues that come up that unfortunately there's nothing that we could do. But yeah, we discuss every step of this wall tilt up. We try to cover everything and anything. If we have adjustments that we have to do on site, we do them. And that's pretty much it for my video. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys' time.